In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
Nutritional Therapy Association. The NTA trains and certifies nutritional therapy practitioners
like me
and consultants by focusing on bioindividuality.
One size diet doesn't fit all.
And the range of dietary strategies that support wellness.
Being healthy overall, y'all.
The NTA emphasizes a whole food,
vegetables from our front yard and backyard gardens,
properly prepared,
like fermented and sprouted,
and nutrient-dense diet,
like grass-fed butter and grass-fed beef,
as the key to restoring balance and enhancing the body's innate ability to heal. Throughout their programs, students learn a wide range of educational tools and techniques to identify and correct nutritional imbalances and deficiencies in their clients, and they launch a successful career in holistic nutrition.
And they might become best-selling authors and podcasters too.
The NTA produces like-minded practitioners and consultants that we consider the leaders in health and wellness.
Oh yeah.
Registration is now open for May classes, and you can learn more and save your seat by going to nutritionaltherapy.com.
Go sign up.
And don't forget to mention Jimmy and Christine Moore on your application. What's that website again, Christine?
Nutritionaltherapy.com.
Go sign up, y'all. You hear?
Oh yeah.
You're so silly. What up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. Jimmy Rants. That's what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
She's like, if you say so, Jay Moore. So yes, JimmyRants.com is the website. We're about to do an episode here. This is the lovely, the beautiful, the talented Christina Wiener, Christine Moore. So we're here today to do an episode of Jimmy Rants. And I did this one actually last night, you guys. Got all the way through an hour of reflecting and thoughts and all these ideas right here on Instagram Live, only to have it all disappear with 10 seconds left in the rant.
That bites.
Yeah, that sucked. So we're back here again, but I have Christine here today because I did want to get you to chime in. So the show is Jimmy Rants. Follow me on Instagram at Livin' Low-Carb Man, LIVIN a bunch of episodes while we were on the low-carb cruise. We just posted those on YouTube, about 8 or 9 of them over the past day and a half. So go check those out. And there's also a podcast, Jimmy Rants Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, yada, 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 all that stuff. So we are here about ready to go to a talk and book signing here in Stafford, Virginia. So Christine, we got some time to kill before that starts. So why don't we talk about some of the reflections on the low carb cruise? We just finished the 12th annual low carb cruise. And so we've been doing this a long time. Do you remember that very first one?
I do. I remember I don't remember the table number we were sitting at, but there's a picture in my mind of the dining room. And
I see the people at the table in my mind.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, because we were a very small group that first year that we did this. But we loved it. In fact, the first year wasn't even like a conference. It was just, hey, let's get together and let's just have fun. We know each other online. Let's get together and have fun on a cruise. And then at the end of it, I was like, hey, that was fun.
I think we were at sea on a Sunday, and
We
I
were.
remember
We did a church service almost.
Yeah, we did a church service, and I think you talked about having just lost your brother not too long before.
That was the next year.
That was the next year. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was the next year. So the first year that we did a conference was the second year.
Okay.
And it was that year that, it had been just a few months since I'd lost Kevin. So a long time ago, we started this. And you've seen the progression over the years, and you've watched this kind of unfold, and you've seen it grow exponentially. And over the past few years, other than the year we went to Alaska, which was our big 10th one, we've been averaging somewhere around a couple hundred people.
Yep.
And we had about 160 this year, so not shabby. What were your thoughts about this year that might be different from some previous years?
I think this year's, there just seemed to be a better vibe about it. I mean, we make it very clear up front to everybody coming on the cruise that we don't want any fat or fit shaming. We don't want any carb police, because not everybody that comes on the low carb cruise does a low carb diet or a ketogenic diet. They may be with spouses who don't buy into it yet.
Although it is really hilarious the number of people that bring their spouse that aren't into it yet, and the next year the spouse comes back and lost 50, 100 pounds.
Exactly. So we try to tell people, look, we don't want any judgment going on. We want this group to be very inclusive. We have people of all types of body sizes and shapes, and we just want it to be a safe place for people, and I really felt that this year.
And I actually had an older lady come up to me that came with us on the group, and she's like, I just want to thank you. This was my very first low carb cruise, and she had in her mind this expectation that there would be a bunch of beautiful, fit, rock solid people, and she's like, and there are some on the cruise. But she was like, I just really appreciated that there wasn't that expectation level, and that you spoke to people like me. And I'm like, yeah, you're more the norm than not. And so that was kind of gratifying to know that she felt welcomed.
Yep.
Even though her expectation was, well, I don't look the part in her mind. She felt the part because she was in the group.
So mission accomplished. I think that's great. And the wide variety of topics that we had this year. I mean, things that need to be talked about, like bioindividuality and eating disorders, and how you get over those, how you deal with those, how do you feed your kids keto or low carb. Those are all very important that we don't hear a lot about. And
you should, as an NTP, be very happy that bioindividuality was a huge part. And several people talking about digestion, and then we had a nutritional therapy panel that you and Jessica Ty were on, and Mitzi was on. It just was really, really wide variety, diverse. Man, the person that put together the schedule, they should give them a raise or something.
What a raise of zero is
triple
still zero.
triple my income. Zero still zero, triple zero. So and something we incorporated for the first time ever. We've been doing this for a long time, but I got the idea, why don't we have panels? So we not only had lectures, and it used to be lecture, lecture, break, lecture, lecture, break, lecture, lecture, lunch. Lecture, lecture, break, lecture, lecture, done. That was kind of the format. And this year I said, you know what? Let's break it up. Let's do a lecture. Let's do a panel. Let's take a break. Then come back. Let's do a panel. Let's do a lecture. Take a break. And just mixed it up. And people really seemed to enjoy that. I also encouraged, and we never did this before either, people to ask questions on the panel from the audience. And one thing that really helped with that was we didn't have a camera crew.
Yeah.
So usually Dr. Andreas Ian Felt has his team there, and we have to kind of play around the cameras. And so without having that this year, I felt as the host a lot freer and less stressful to run it that way. And I think it all went off pretty well.
I think the difference between this year and previous years, I think Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives are getting more out there.
Yeah.
And so we're able to have people do those live streaming.
Yes.
And also save them.
Yes.
And then we are given the SD cards, and we can load them up and still have the videos and stuff to the lectures to share. So I think that's it, because those things are available, it makes it a little bit easier.
Well, Lauren Lundquist, I mean, he basically did all that on his own. He was right there on the front row. So thank you, Lauren. Was on the front row and took all that video. And it was awesome. And there were a bunch of people doing lives. Nurse Cindy was doing lives. Robyn Davis was doing lives. Ketonis doing lives. Keto Coach Lauren doing lives. I'm getting to him.
Oh, okay.
She's jumping the gun. I'm naming all the names, and then she's like, "You haven't named this one." How about this one? Yes, Debbie Potts and Keto Savage, all those guys were doing those. So a bunch of you guys were talking about how you felt like you were there vicariously through all of those videos. But here's the thing. You can watch all the videos in the world. And I'm going to upload a bunch of these to my YouTube channel, by the way. So that's coming up. Pay attention. We're going to make them some Jimmy Rants bonus episodes coming up. But there's just something about being there in person, the camaraderie, getting to hang out in the after hours, and that sounds worse than it does. What?
Well, I was thinking hanging out. Of all the places that y'all hung out on the ship was at the pizza bar.
Place.
I know, it was funny.
Well, we tried the champagne bar, and it was kind of small, and, you know, a good chunk of 100 and something people, 150, 60 people, took up that area. So then we took over the pizza bar.
And we had
no pizza.
Well, we had the regular.
The Leaning Tower pizza.
Pizza crust. People ate the toppings.
So they scraped the toppings off, and then they stacked up the pizza. Yeah, we should have done that. Yeah. We should have had like 500 of those slices from all of our group.
That'd be hilarious. I saw Jessica Ty posted a picture where they did that one of the
nights.
Yeah.
We never did have the pizza this week.
No, we didn't.
No.
Nope.
So, now you weren't in there all the time because you were doing a lot of the work stuff of doing some volunteer, but did you get a chance to see anybody that stood out that you really enjoyed from this year's cruise?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I heard bits and pieces of T.C. Hale's.
Okay, T.C. Hale is a former stand-up comedian, and he talked about bioindividuality.
Yeah, I really was drawn to his because that's what I firmly believe in
right.
myself. I saw bits and pieces of the fitness panel.
Yep. So with like Crystal Love.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bodybuilding guys, Danny Vega, Mara Vega, Robert Sykes.
Yeah.
I called her Crystal Love. It's Crystal Sykes now.
Sykes
Sorry,
now,
Crystal.
yeah.
You're now a Sykes. I do believe it.
Yeah, Lady Savage.
The Lady Savage.
Yeah. So I mean, there were a lot of good
hold
ones.
on, Debbie Potts and Stephanie Holbrook.
Yeah,
let's get them all out.
Yeah, let's get
them
all out.
See, you cut me off before I could finish it.
Sorry.
So who else?
Oh gosh. I was really drawn to the panels just simply because
it was different.
It was different, and it gave the audience a chance to
interact
and ask questions.
Yeah.
The keto family panel.
Maria Emmerich was on there. Jessica Ty was on there, I think. Who was on that panel? Help me out. Mara was on there.
Yeah, Mara and I.
And Keto Coach Lauren was on there.
Yep. And then I didn't hear all of Westman's, but I popped in.
Dr. Eric Westman. Yeah. See, she just calls him Westman. See, you got to learn the shorthand lingo with Christine.
Yeah.
Westman, that boy from Durham.
Yeah, he's. We love that guy. I think it was the first time we had ever seen him break down and
cry.
Yeah,
he got very emotional when he started thinking about the gravity of how low carb is changing people's lives and that this is real. And he's lived it. He's been the preeminent researcher for so long. And now a lot of that research that he was the lone wolf out there for a very long time is now coming to pass in practicality, and in clinical practice with so many people. So that was cool to see. Sometimes people forget doctors are humans too.
Yep.
And we got to see a little bit of the humanity of one Dr. Eric C. Westman.
Yeah. Such a sweet guy.
Who else?
Oh my gosh, it's like trying to say which one of your children are your favorite children.
Well, I am. I'm your favorite child.
I was very grateful that we got to share our hearts.
We did get to share. Yeah, we did get to share very openly. And in fact, you and I had this discussion before we got up there. Should we prepare something? Should we have some notes? And I'm going, you know what? Why don't we just live it in the moment? And why don't we just share in the moment? And we did that here live on my Instagram. Thank you to Jessica for holding the camera while we were talking. But yeah, it was on the last day. Thank goodness it was the last day.
Yeah.
Because even before we started talking, You were
already crying.
I was already breaking down.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that. I didn't know that was going to happen. I wanted to be raw and I wanted to be authentic. I just didn't know it was going to be that raw and that real.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I was trying not to hog the mic. I was like, okay, what can I get Christine to? So I was like thinking while also emotionally just drained. But it was great because at the end of that, it literally did feel like a 1,000-pound elephant was off my shoulders. Being able to share that, and being able to share our heart of why we're doing this, and giving people a little bit of pulling back the curtain of what it takes to be in this space as a leader. And I don't think most people think about that. They look at people like me and Maria Emmerich and Eric Westman and Dr. Barry and all of us that are all of the speakers who are leaders in this space. Oh, well, they're superhuman and go,
They don't have
and
feelings.
nothing phases them. And while a lot of us do compartmentalize things to prevent it from totally wrecking us, we're human.
Yeah.
And we do have stuff going on.
And being exposed to it day after day after day, it does
Right.
wear on you, so you simply can't ignore it. I mean, it still does take a physical toll, as we talked about in our
Right.
talk, how a lot of our numbers are tanked. And so, yeah.
I got to tell you, though, after we gave that talk, and they were very sweet to give us a standing ovation, had so many people come up to us and gave us big hugs and wished us well. It was really cool. And it's a reminder that the low carb community in general, for the most part, is just chock full of just amazing people.
Absolutely.
That it's not the ugliness that we see. That's just a very minority part. But everybody understood. Some of them are like, about darn time.
Right.
So that was kind of neat to see that rallying around us.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, now I'm more excited than ever before to go on that sabbatical. I'm almost there in my mind now. So if I can get there in my mind before the day comes, then when the day comes, it won't be so shocking.
Right. And I even thought about some stuff after the fact that I wanted to do. I want to learn to play the guitar.
What'd you want to say? Go.
So I had mentioned that I wanted to get back playing the piano.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't had time to do it, and it's a stress reliever for me.
You're going to sing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie.
I love to draw, so I haven't had a lot of time to do that. But I want to learn to play the guitar, and we've got Mandy Holbert, good
Pastor's
friend,
wife.
Pastor's
Your pastor's wife.
Yeah, she plays the guitar, so I'm going to get her to kind of
Tutor you.
see if she'll teach me how to do that. And then Jimmy had mentioned that he wanted to learn
I want to learn Italia.
So I'm
Italia.
my dad's family is from
Si.
Italy, so
what?
Well,
From Italia?
They say Italia.
I
yeah.
know, that's what I said,
So,
Italia.
Italia. So I want to learn that as well alongside you. So we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff.
And if we go to
I love
French, we
pencil.
could go, oui, oui, bonjour. Or was that Pepe Le Pew?
Sissy bon.
Sissy bone?
It is so good.
A sissy bun is so good.
Sissy bon.
Sissy bun. Is that Beverly's, like, hair? Sissy bun? We've gone off the deep end. All right, back to the conference. So we had a bunch of new people here this year. That was really cool to see. Danny and Mara Vega, who we mentioned earlier, first time they ever came, and they fit right in.
They did.
This is their people. We love Danny and Mara. Good people, two amazing boys, and they were very well behaved. And then as far as new people go, you mentioned TC Hale. His podcasting co-host is Nissa Gran. She's very quiet, but when she speaks, it's profound. And she was talking about how I had her on a food addiction panel, and she's like, well, I was never really addicted to food, but I was addicted to dieting, which I thought was a good aspect of that panel.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are addicted to dieting. We've almost been had it ingrained in us that we need to be addicted to dieting, that dieting's the way to go. And I think hearing how keto helped her overcome that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then other new people, Lauren Berryhill,
Oh, she
keto
was
coach
amazing,
Lauren.
yeah.
I have become really good friends with Lauren, and I said, Lauren, what do you want to talk about on the Low Carb Cruise if I gave you a talk? She said, I really have a heart for this whole body dysmorphia topic, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big topic.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I want to talk about it. So what people don't know is that on the cruise, she broke down and was doing a lot of the things that she talked about in her talk of, don't talk bad about yourself. Guess what? She was talking bad about herself. And the gravity of this talk was just so much that it was tough. And I was so proud of her because she overcame that and gave probably one of the best talks. Not the very best talk, because I have a favorite that I had, but it was up there in my top 3 of the talks from this year's cruise.
Yeah.
Was Lauren. So I know Keto Savage, Robert Sykes, put it on his page already, his YouTube channel, if you want to go watch. Lauren is going to air it on her podcast and her YouTube channel soon, and I'll have the audio on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb show soon. But really powerful, you guys. For all of you that think, oh, my arm is too big, or I got this wart on my knee, or other kind of things that you see yourself in a negative light, be encouraged by this young girl who gets it. I was so stupid at her age. 26, I was not nearly as wise as Lauren. Who else was brand new? I'm going to insult people. Oh, Amy Berger she wasn't new to the cruise. She'd been on the cruise before, but she'd never spoken. And same with Ask Nurse Cindy.
Yeah.
These two guys were on the cruise last year, but weren't speakers. And I'm like, I didn't know who you were coming, or I would have made you speakers last year. So Amy had my favorite talk because she talked about this whole, and yeah, Dr. Jeff McDaniel, Kimberly's reminding me, is another new one, but let's go in order. So Amy had my favorite talk on finding your personal fat threshold. And I thought she was talking about dietary fat when I first saw the title.
Yeah.
It turns out she was talking about on your body. You only have just so many places to put fat, and then it gets stored, and then it goes around the organs, and then at some point it switches from fat storage, because you meet your threshold, to then disease progression. And she said, as long as you're still able to store fat, disease can't progress. Now, that doesn't mean keep letting it progress,
right.
Weight progress. But if you're gaining weight, it's actually a sign that you're not diseased. That seems so weird and so radical. Definitely, when that one comes out, for you to be able to see it or listen to it on my podcast, check out Amy Berger's talk about the fat threshold. It was really powerful. All right, Ask Nurse Cindy. Fireball of a woman.
Yeah.
But the passion she exudes is undeniable. I think anybody that looks at her and hears her talk, how are you not excited about whatever? I mean, she could say, the sky is so blue. It's so blue. You want to look at the sky. It wants to make you look at the sky. Because she's just that excited.
Yep.
Thoughts on Nurse Cindy?
I just love her because she's real.
Yeah.
And passionate.
And doesn't speak medicalese.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. She
All
makes
right.
that understandable.
All right, Dr. Jeff McDaniel, another brand new speaker.
Love that guy.
We actually shared the stage, you and I did, in Atlanta, Georgia a few months back at the ADAPT event. That's Dr. Westman's event. And I met him in person, heard his talk there, and I was like, whoa. So he has a personal story with keto that he shared some of the mistakes that he made and how to avoid them. But he's a primary care physician, family doctor in Atlanta, Georgia. And he was just fantastic. Him and Roxanne. Sorry, I couldn't resist. It was just great. It was great having them. It was great to have another MD. Mm-hmm. Can never have too many MDs talking about this stuff. Did we get all the new people?
I'm going through them in my mind.
Oh, well, Kim Howerton has been here before, but she's never spoken. So we gave her a 20-minute talk about eating chips.
Yeah. That's funny.
She had an acronym for CHIPS, CHIPS, to help you avoid eating the crappy garbage chips. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited. She did a really good job. In fact, the other 20-minute talk that we had given was Robyn Davis from Keto for Life, and she was really fantastic, talking about the reality of what it looks like to be a binge eater. I think we sometimes forget when people go keto, it doesn't always heal all of those things.
Right.
And Robyn was quite raw and real about, hey, look, on this cruise, I see all this food and my binge brain wants it. And so that was very open for her to say that out loud. And so it was just so good. I think if I had to describe this year, it was the year of vulnerability.
Yep.
That there were so many people willing to say things that they wouldn't normally say in the past. Not that they were ashamed per se of it, but it just wasn't in vogue, I guess, to be real and be authentic. We're seeing that become a trend now. We're seeing that where people are open to doing that. And of course, I had a little bit of part in that because I invited these people that I knew loved to love to share. But like Dr. Westman, like we said earlier, vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been that way before. Now, one person that was back this year that's been gone a couple of years, that's one of our staples, was Jackie Eberstein.
Yep.
And she was the registered nurse that worked with Dr. Atkins, and just phenomenal. I mean, she literally is the first lady of low carb.
Yeah.
Because she's been doing this since the early 70s. I was in diapers when she started eating low carb.
Mm-hmm. She's got so much
And
knowledge.
I'm old today, so that was a long time ago. She has so much?
She has so much knowledge. I mean, it's just incredible.
She saw literally all of Dr. Atkins' patients. And before we started the low carb cruise, this was the 12th low carb cruise. She did 11 Atkins cruises throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s. So she was no stranger to the cruises, although she did tell me one year, Jimmy, I'm so glad you run these cruises because I know how hard that is. So, you're welcome. Of course, some really powerful messages throughout the conference. Dr. Ken Berry does his thing. How do you describe Ken to people that don't know Dr. Berry?
In your face and blunt.
That's probably putting it mildly. And in fact, on the medical Q&A on the last day, Ken, he was just matter of fact with all of his answers. And that scares some people.
It does.
And it also...
It's intimidating.
It makes you... Well, it's intimidating, for the medical profession because they're like, you can't say that. So what you guys don't realize is every time one of these MDs speaks up, and especially Dr. Berry, as bold as he is, they're putting their license at risk. And so the fact that he's willing to speak so strongly about what he believes, it takes courage, it takes bravery, because at any moment the medical board could come down on any of them and say, you can't do that, or we're going to investigate you, and what's this keto crap? So I'm grateful for all the medical professionals who do come on the cruise. I'm working on some more good ones for next year. What else about the cruise did you want to talk about?
I think for you and I, we didn't get off at most of the ports. We got off at
I wanted to chill
Orlando because we were meeting some
Yeah,
friends.
Keto Neogenesis
Yeah.
and Carlos. I mean Alberto.
Poor Alberto.
That's our inside joke.
And then we got off at Coco Key.
Yeah.
Just to do a little bit of shopping, get some souvenirs. But
Yes.
we took most of the time just to chill and do nothing.
Yeah, and guys, I got to tell you, if those 2-3 days we had in a row where we did nothing is any indication of what it's going to be like during the 6-month sabbatical, it can't come fast enough, because I was so chill, I was so calm, I felt invigorated. It just was amazing. And I know that's going to be what will happen during our sabbatical. So that was kind of fun, being off those few days, giving us a taste of what's to come.
Yep. The dining room service was just absolutely amazing. I loved our waiters.
Oh, Sydney and Michael.
Yeah,
they were awesome.
It was really funny.
They always
'cause
do a good job.
They bring the bread the first night.
Yeah.
But then we let them know, hey, there may be some people at other tables that eat the bread with the spouses or everything, but we were at our table, none of us ate the bread, and so the second night they didn't bring it.
They did bring the butter, though.
They did bring the butter. And then one thing that I hadn't seen before
Yeah.
was that as the week went on, I would order, let's say, just the Caesar salad, and it comes with croutons on it. Sydney asked me, do you want me to leave off the croutons? And we try to encourage people not to make special requests like that. You can just, push them aside and not eat them. Because it slows down the service. It can. And so, but by the second, third night, I would order a dinner that would come with mashed potatoes. Oh, I'll leave the mashed potatoes off. I mean,
Right.
They are very quick to learn your dietary needs and preferences.
Yeah.
And these guys work so hard. A lot of them work
Yeah.
the Windjammer, where all the buffet food is.
The lunch buffet, right?
Yeah, they either work breakfast, and then you see them in the dining room that night, and just they're very quick to learn your name. I mean, they work so hard.
Yeah, and what was really fascinating to me this year, I've been doing this keto carnivore for 2019, and so I tried for the most part to stay really keto carnivore, which basically is meat and dairy. So I have meat and cheese at a lot of the meals, didn't I?
Yes.
And so they had some great burgers in the Windjammer.
Mm-hmm.
So I would load up the plate with the burgers and some cheese, and I was happy as a camper. And sometimes we went to dinner, and on no previous low-carb cruise did this happen. Sometimes we would go to dinner and I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
That was amazing to me.
Yep.
And yeah, so if I wasn't feeling anything on the menu that night, I would just skip. If I got hungry, I could eat a little bit later in the Windjammer, but it was just great to do that.
Mm-hmm. And they always have things that you can choose from to keep yourself on track. I mean, there was one night where they had a caprese salad, and I got that, and then they have the shrimp cocktail. They have escargot cooked or smothered in butter and garlic.
Yes.
I still haven't gotten brave enough to try that yet.
Is escargot carnivore?
Yeah.
It's a
snail.
Is a snail meat? Is a snail an animal?
It's an
Snail's an animal. It's an insect?
It's not an insect. It's like a sea. I mean, it would be, I think,
A
considered
sea urchin?
No, it's. I'm trying to think of what class it is. I had to look it up.
It would have to have protein in it.
It does have protein in it.
It's a living
yes,
being,
yes.
so it's a protein.
It does have protein in it. But I was trying to figure out what class it's in.
Here we go. Miss NTP, does it have complete proteins? How would it not? It's animal-based.
Yeah, I mean, it's an animal, so.
And it's slathered in butter and garlic, baby.
Garlic. The only thing that wouldn't be carnivore would, for some people who are anal retentive about this, is the garlic, because that's a plant.
Robyn says it's mollusk.
Mollusk, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rockin' Robyn.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the term. I knew it was in the oysters or that sort of thing. That's
Berkeley Monroe said crustacean.
crustacean.
There's no outer shell.
That would be a
that we would
lobster.
see. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
lobster, crab.
it does have
the shell, but we don't see it on our
But
plate.
it is a mollusk, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
And yellow-eyed one says seafood.
Seafood, yes.
Yeah, I see it and I eat it. That's the kind of seafood it was. So, man, there was just so much that went on. And guys, we really want you to join us in 2020. Christine and I, knock on wood, will be back from our sabbatical, because here's something that came up.
Don't you make my airbag deploy?
One of the things that came up during our talk was a lady that's a psychologist said, why 6 months? It might be 9 months. It might be a year. So, okay, let's just pretend like it's 6 months. We'll be on the low-carb cruise next year in 2020. So go sign up. We'd love to have you. I'm working on the speakers as we speak. A lot of the ones that spoke this year have expressed interest in coming back, including like Maria Emmerich, who was on 2 panels this year. We're going to give her a big old talk next year, so you don't want to miss that. But a bunch of people wanted to come back, and I've got a lot of great new voices I want to bring as well. So lowcarbcruiseinfo.com is the website. If you're interested, we would love to have all the Jimmy Rants fans come on that boat. And here's the thing, sign up soon, sign up early, because the earlier you sign up, the better chance you have of getting the best rate possible. There's no better. You get the best rate possible. So if you sign up today, and it changes price, goes lower 6 months from now, you get the lower price. Debbie Hubbs is the lady that handles all that stuff for the Low Carb Cruise, and she just does such a bang up job with that. So reach out to Debbie, go to lowcarbcruiseinfo.com. It'll be in mid-May next year. This year we had it for the first time ever. We had a low carb cruise in the month of June.
Yeah.
It started May the 31st, but we've never gone into June before. Right. And we did an 8-day cruise this year. Next year's we'll leave out of Port Canaveral, and it'll be a 7-day cruise, but we go back to Coco Key, which was a big hit with a lot of the low carb cruisers this year. Mm-hmm. We also go back to Puerto Rico, which we went to a couple of years ago. 2, 3, 4 years ago, however long it was.
Yeah.
And St. Kitts again. So really good destinations. And hey, you get to hang out with Jimmy and Christine Moore.
Yeah.
Well, you get to hang out with Christine Moore. I don't know about Jimmy. Jimmy will bum in the corner. I'm so shy.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, you guys believe that like I sell you the Brooklyn Bridge.
I know, right?
So, any final thoughts on the 2019 12th annual Low Carb Cruise? It was pretty fabulous. And if you missed my social media post, by the way, earlier, I did a whole post, and it was a series of posts here on Instagram because it was so long. I did a bunch of thank yous to all the speakers, because guys, what you may not realize is all these speakers come on their own dime. They gladly come because they want to connect with you. They want to make relationships with the keto community. They respect what I've done, and so they do this as a payback for me. And I got to tell you, there's 2 prominent names in this space that I've asked to come on the cruise before. I'm not going to say their names, but one of them said, if I can't make a bleep load of money, I would never do it. And I'm going, okay, yeah, you're not low carb cruise material. I don't care what your name is. And then the other one wanted $25,000, first class tickets, a posh hotel, wanted to go and hide in his room until 15 minutes before his talk, give his talk, go back to his room, hide, and then fly out first class home the next day from the first port. You don't get the cruise. We do this by design to get people together and to let you hang out with people that you wouldn't normally get to hang out with in the keto community. It's what I love about it. I will hang out with the best of them, and I'll hug your neck and I'll sing karaoke with you, whatever you want to do. And that's kind of the mission of what we're all trying to accomplish here is, you know, we don't make money from this cruise. This cruise is a labor of love because we see the greater mission is reaching people with a life-changing message. And I think we get that out there in a big way.
Yep.
And a lot of people that come on the cruise as speakers may not be as known, but then they become known. Mm-hmm. I always tell people we had Dr. William Davis before he was Wheat Belly.
Yep.
We've had a bunch of people before they took off, and we were missing a lot of our staples this year. Like our friend Tom Naughton has always come from the Fathead movie, and he wasn't able to come this year because his daughter had something going on. And we had various people like that have been on in the past that didn't come this year. All of our Swedish contingent also was not there this year. So we would love to have you join us on the Low Carb Cruise in 2020. Lowcarbcruiseinfo.com if you want to do that. Yep. We got a book signing to get to here.
Yep.
You excited about that?
I am. I get to run my mouth.
She gets to talk. and every time we go on the Low Carb Cruise, I get off the boat, and the next day I got like a little scratchy thing in my throat, and I got a scratchy thing in my throat. So you might be doing a lot of the talking. Yeah, you guys believe that like a hole in your head too,
I know,
right?
I don't believe it for a minute.
But I do have a scratchy throat, so Christine gave me lots of zinc and vitamin D. So we're going to see what that does. So, all right, so let's see what the peoples have to say. Welcome in, welcome in.
And drink plenty of fluids today.
And I'm drinking like a madman. In fact, to that, I'm going to take a swig.
That was more than a swig. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, that felt good on the throat. All right, let's see what these guys have to say. Love you guys, says Kelly. Thank you. We love you too. Good morning. You're killing me in words with friends. Sorry, Berkeley. I did warn you.
Yeah.
I did warn you. Mama Oars. Hello, Jimmy and Christine. Hello. Kimberly says, sorry, I won't be able to join you today. Well, you're here in spirit. Holistic Ketosis says, I want to go on the fall cruise. Yeah, they're doing a fall cruise in late September. So go sign up, lowcarbcruiseinfo.com. What's up, Robbie? Cousin Robbie here. I'm watching the YouTube videos from the cruise. Yeah, keep watching my channel because, like I said, I've been posting like a madman. I did several Jimmy Rants episodes, but I did some like B-roll, low-carb cruise bonus stuff. Keto Coach Lauren interviewed me about fasting, so I posted that. I am working on getting our talk up on there, which is about 40 minutes long, where we talk about why we're leaving the low-carb community for 6 months. So yeah, stay tuned. We had really good Wi-Fi in the hotel we were just in. We travel, when we're done with this book signing here today, we travel down a few hours down the road, and hopefully they have just as good of Wi-Fi. I'll keep it going. I've been on 5 cruises with you, says Mitzi, and this one was by far the best.
I saw her comment on Facebook about that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. Hello, Aaron in France. Thanks for being here. Enjoyed your rant about the zealots. Thank you, Berkeley. Kimberly. Oh, the zealots one was with Keto Neogenesis and Carlos.
Alberto.
Kimberly, I've seen so many positive posts about the cruise and how it was conducted. Very well done. Thank you. We've done 12 of them, so I would hope we've figured it out by now.
We were learning stuff each year.
Yes. Mitzi said she loved the panels. Yes. And you were on panels too, so that's good. Brittany says, I swear that day I talked to you before you left, I told my husband that if I could have, I would have flown out there to be with y'all on that cruise. Where you're going to be there next year, and you're speaking. I'm holding you to that. Real food, real life. You come next year, you're speaking. And it's about to storm like crazy here, guys. Got rain coming down all over my windshield. I watched Ask Nurse Cindy's videos, was so grateful. Thank you, Mama Oars. Yes, she did every single talk. It was pretty amazing. Watching is awesome. The synergy of being there is amazing. Yeah, you can't quite replicate it, can you, Mitzi? There's something about being in the audience. And then just what happens off camera is just great. And we're all together in the dining room area. I meant to mention that too. We're all together, all of our group. And so we're able to see each other, and you make connections at your dinner table that last a long time. Keto Bob says, I'm afraid of cruises. This might actually get me on the boat, though. Well, don't be afraid of cruises. Some of the cruise ships that we've been on with Royal Caribbean are humongous ships, to the point that you don't even remember you're on a ship.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're in the inside part, you have no idea, unless it's just choppy water, and it was relatively smooth this year.
Yeah, this past cruise, there wasn't a lot of movement. The only thing that we ran into was the last day around dinner time. It got very, very foggy, and so the ship's horn was sounding every 2 minutes. And it did that
all through the night.
It did that all through the night. And so,
about every 2 minutes. But you don't want to have anything crash into you, so I appreciated that.
So that was the only thing. I mean, yeah.
I just told my daughter I'm going on that cruise next year. Well, Mama Oars, we'll love to have you.
Yep.
And you'll get your Jimmy hug, I promise.
Yep.
Kimberly says, blessings have really shown themselves this week to me. Plans going forward include the cruise next year, right after my birthday. So Kimberly will be joining us. You got to bring the whole fam, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to see the whole fam. Has anyone done a book on feeding keto to children? So Berkeley, that's one thing that came out of this week was Keto Coach Lauren is writing that book. She and I talked for a couple of hours one of the days, and she was saying, hey, I got this idea for a book. It's about how to feed your kids and your family. I said, yes. So she's already started working on that book, and I'll continue to work with her on that. So stay tuned to Keto Coach Lauren. She'll have that, but there's bunches of people that talk about this subject, but this will be the first one that would touch it. I'll tell you, I pitched the idea to my publisher that they needed to do a book like this, Victory Belt. And because they've been burned in the past with some of the paleo kids books not doing very well, they think they don't have a market. I think that's wrong. I think there will be a big market if it's done well and looks good. So stay tuned. When that resource is available, I will definitely let you know. Mitzi says, see you soon. Yeah, 45 minutes, Mitzi. We'll be here. We're in the parking lot now. It's pouring down rain, so... Love Dr. Westman. He was my first intro to keto, says M. Cole. Yes, a lot of people. I loved your talk, says Mama Ors. Thank you. My tribe of crying keto peeps. See, Kimberly's name is Crying for Keto. So a couple days ago, Kimberly, we were definitely crying for keto. I haven't seen any part of the cruise speakers yet. I'm so looking forward to that, though. Yes, Yellow-Eyed One. For next year, we just got off the boat. So I'm going to be working on that before my sabbatical starts September the 1st. I'm going to nail down, if not all of them, most of the speakers for the 2020 cruise. So stay tuned. Berkeley says, your honesty was great. I cried along with you guys. I'm so excited for your upcoming sabbatical. Well deserved. Thank you. I did see the Bye Bye Miss American Pie. That was great. Yes. Yeah, it was funny because Westman, I'm going to pull a Christine. Westman, Dr. Eric Westman, brought his guitar to the dining room on the last night. He was over there singing all kind of stuff. And so he sits up on the little pedestal next to our table, and he starts serenading our table. And, about see you next time.
The goodbye song.
Yeah, the goodbye song. And he said, your turn, Jimmy. I was like, and bye, Miss American Pie. And he went right along with it. He's very talented. People don't realize how musical Eric Westman is.
He plays the keyboard. Yeah.
Yes. Deanna says we're cute together. So.
Thank you.
We stay married together for 25 years.
Yeah.
I guess we'll make it work now. Welcome Home Farm Tennessee says, thanks for all you guys do for the health community. The cruise sounded awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing the posting of the speakers on YouTube. It's coming. Give me time. We're still traveling. We don't get home until late in the day tomorrow. Then we're home a couple of days. We're going to go up to our mountain house for a couple of days. Christine and I need cupping sessions so bad. So we're going to go do that, and then we're home for a couple more days before we go on a family trip for a week. We get back from the family trip, a few days home, and then we go to KetoCon, where we have a book signing with Dr. Ken Berry in Austin, Texas. And then we'll be at KetoCon on that Friday and most of the day Saturday, and we fly out Saturday night. So Tammy says, Jimmy and Christine, you both had me in tears. So glad you're taking a break. You are both loved. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I think the vulnerability comes from being truly passionate. Yeah. And I think most of the people that were there this year, you can tell they were super duper passionate. Beth says there is power in showing that vulnerability, both for the sharer and the sharers. People feel more connection when it is relatable. Always. I love the doctors coming on the scene now. Dr. Barry is great, says Yellow-Eyed One. Yeah. Ken is awesome. Ken's about to have a little munchkin in his house, so I don't know how they'll be able to come with a little bitty baby next year, because the baby at that point will only be like 6-7 months old. So I don't think they'll be able to come next year, but you're right. There's so many doctors coming on the scene, like Dr. Jeff McDaniel. I didn't even know about him 4 months ago, and now he's already been on the cruise. So yep. I'll keep my eyes open, you guys. And there's a lot of people that I definitely want to invite who are medical professionals to come. Christine and Jimmy, you outdid yourself again with the photos. I felt like I was with you on the cruise, says Kimberly. Yeah, Christine did a whole lot more than I did because I had to run the show. I didn't have a lot of time for and my phone was being used to record the audio. So yeah, I didn't get to take as many as Christine did. I should have boarded that cruise. I live in New York City. Yellow-Eyed One, hello? Hello? Let's see. I'm with you on the escargot. You missed Ken and Alberto eating raw pork brain on the beach.
Oh, wow.
I didn't miss that. I didn't want to see that. Alberto, you were very brave. And Ken, he's already cray-cray.
Yeah.
Kim says, I love you guys. Well, we love you too.
Aw.
Thanks for being here. Glow Bakery says you both are awesome.
Thank
Well,
you.
half of us are awesome. Much love to you both, says M. Norman. Thank you. So, Victoria, that's a general question. We're talking about the low-carb cruise right now, but thank you for that general question. We do some open Q&As from time to time. Definitely come back for one of those, or if you want to message me privately, just send a private message, direct message through there. She's asking about counting calories on keto and why you don't count. Yellow-eyed one, while y'all were on the cruise, my cousin came up from Tennessee. I was playing tour guide for 5 days. That's why she couldn't come on the cruise. Well, she could have come too. Your cousins could have came too. You could have made it a whole family affair on a boat.
Yep.
Just kidding, yellow-eyed. Beth says, I mistook words with friends for scramble with friends. It's more like boggle. Will you play that? I kick butt with that. No, I don't play that one. I only play words with friends. That's my only game. Otherwise, I would get no work done. Words with Friends, I keep it just that. Because I used to play...
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. Himina. And what was that other one? Yahtzee.
Yes, Yahtzee.
You got me on Yahtzee, and I was like, this is sucking all my time up. Where is your book signing? So we're in Stafford, Virginia. Very rainy Stafford, Virginia today, here at the Porter Library. And it starts here in about 40 minutes. So... I must have missed that. Well, we did post about it, but we did go on the low-carb cruise, so we weren't able to remind everybody a few days ago, but we're here today. Wish I could have gone. Thank you, Judy. You need to come next year. Where can we watch the speakers? So, as I mentioned earlier, Denise, we're going to post all of these videos up on YouTube. Just give me some time. I am one guy trying to post all these videos, and they all take a little while to upload. So, give me some time, and I'll work on it. I'm also going to be airing the audio from a lot of the lectures on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb show, so follow my podcast as well. Let's see here. Enjoyed the photos, made me feel like I was there.
Awesome.
Just like you did when you were in Italy. Thank you, Mama Ors.
Yay. That's why I post. I want people to feel a part of it.
Yes. Old Top says, wait, there's a low-carb cruise? Are you kidding me? I'm not kidding you, brother. We've been doing it 12 years, so next year will be 13 years.
Got to make a caveat, though. We're just a small group of thousands of people. So
Right.
the whole ship is not low
No.
carb. It's just
well, when we say low-carb cruise, we mean we have a group together that eats low-carb. We have a conference for low-carb, but it's on a traditional cruise, what Christine is saying. So there's thousands of people on the cruise, and we're a couple hundred of that. So, no, they still put out all the crappy garbage. But what they do have is availability of foods that people can eat. And people forget, it's so stupid easy to eat keto. I ate mostly keto carnivore the entire cruise. Hamburger patties, cheese, bacon, eggs. All of those things were very easy and available. You just ignore the crap. And that's the way you do it. lowcarbcruiseinfo.com is how you sign up. So, guys, we're going to pop off of here. Got to get to the book signing here soon and hope this storm doesn't blow us away from Stafford, Virginia. So, that's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. Thank you, Christine, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
The little guest spot from the Christina Wiener. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage live in the content right here on Instagram. I'm at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live. You can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, you do need to go to YouTube, type in a keyword Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. The best of the best moments of this here show is also in podcast form on Apple Podcast as well as Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, are at JimmyRants.com. Just a reminder, a lot more videos are coming on my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/livinglowcarbman. Definitely go subscribe if you haven't already, and you won't miss any of the bonus episodes. So there was a lot of things that we didn't get here on Instagram Live that will be Jimmy Rants bonus episodes. So go subscribe. Enjoy all of the content. I got a nice sunrise one morning that you don't want to miss. That's coming up soon. And of course, the talk Christine and I gave, that's coming up. Just so much really, really good content. And again, if you want to sign up for the Low Carb Cruise for 2020, lowcarbcruiseinfo.com. So until next time, we'll see you then.